What is going on, everybody? This is episode 541 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to close out talking about both teams. The Georgia Southern Eagles is possibly losing their defensive coordinator with Will Harris. And we're going to talk about the Atlanta Falcons because with the big trade that happened earlier today with the Chicago and the Carolina Panthers, looks like that the Panthers are going in for a quarterback franchise QB, and look like the Falcons could be going defense. This is my opinion. We're going to talk about both of these in this episode. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found over at YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I want to give a shout out to everybody who participated in the last episode as far as feedback and other uh, comments or whatever the case may be. Look, this fan base for the Falcons, I love them. Don't get me wrong. I don't have no ill will to some of the crazy things that we say as a fan base. But at the same time, I do feel that there's just some stuff that's way off the wall. And I just, it gets really frustrated at times. Not only just people that are on social media, but sometimes, some of my colleagues out here in the YouTubes or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I like you guys, and there's nobody in names in particular because everybody does it. I do it sometimes, but the thing is like sometimes we really need to pump our brakes when we're like a little bit too hyped. Sometimes we just really need to calm down with it because it's been getting really crazy the past few weeks. So I felt like I had to do that episode. Hopefully it goes over well. Seems like it goes over well with a lot of people, and some people really understand. And we're just going to keep moving forward because I think the Falcons are going to be better, but it's going to start with defense. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's go ahead and get into it. Will Harris, defensive coordinator, was a former cornerback coach. Or yeah, he was the defensive back coach for the Washington Huskies. He is possibly moving back to the LA, Los Angeles area. I mean, he played at USC. He had a job as um, like I said, the cornerbacks coach at Washington. He came to Georgia Southern for 1 year as a defensive coordinator, and looked like he's going to get a job with the LA Chargers. I wish him the best. I don't think it's too big of a loss for Georgia Southern. If you watch any of the games, we had a pretty explosive offense, but the defense was just not where it needed to be. And I'm not really blaming him because he only been with the program for a year. But even though you've been there for a year, you look at the situation where a lot of guys just had issues with tackling. Looked like tackling technique wasn't necessarily a priority, to be honest. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I don't like to criticize the college side of the game because those guys are still just pretty much developing as football players, even in their college years. But it just seemed like the development wasn't there, and I can't really say it was all on Coach Will Harris, but when you really look at it, it goes somewhere. Coach Kevin Whitley is still on the staff. Hopefully, he will get a shot at being the defensive coordinator. I think he does a phenomenal job with cornerbacks. So it would be really interesting if he has a philosophy when it comes to actual, running a defense. Don't know who's going to replace him if he moves on. But it's going to be really interesting to see. So all reports right now saying that Will Harris may go back to the West Coast. I mean, he's from that area. I totally get it. It's kind of similar to we lose the offensive line coach. He went to Louisville. He was an alumni of Louisville. I think I said that right. Anyway, he went. So you see Will Harris is going as well. I one more thing before I move on to the next topic. Will Harris just don't get me wrong. I appreciate him coming to Georgia Southern, but and maybe I think that he was a really good fit. But something about getting him from the West Coast all the way here, this was one of my biggest fears about him coming here. I don't know what kind of ties he has with the Southeast. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, he did his due diligence. He did go around in areas of Georgia, understanding how the culture is in as far as college football goes. But I don't. I never. This is probably one person I looked at and I thought this is not going to be a long term deal. This is one thing I knew. I knew that he wasn't going to be here for 3, 4 years. It'd have been nice, but I think he more comfortable back where he is, where he wants to go. If the reports are true, that he will be going to back to the West Coast. I mean, I totally understand. I mean, I'm from Georgia, and we just recently moved back to Georgia, and I can tell you, I've just felt so comfortable being back here. So I do kind of understand where he's coming from if he does move back. So wish him the best. Absolutely wish him the best. He wasn't able to get things together in 1 year. I mean, most times you don't do that. I mean, the thing that Coach Clay Helton did, turning this team around offensively, him and Ellis. I mean, that was like amazing. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, we was a run first spread option or run option team, and we ended up throwing for over 4,000 yards the first year with Van Trees. So the defense still needs some, the defense still needs a lot of work. And I think we brought a good bit of people in, and I think we're gonna be fine. And I think some of the kids are, I don't know how impacted they're gonna be about this move, but I think they'll be fine and they're gonna perform at a high level. I think there's big things for Georgia Southern this year. I think we probably get maybe three. I don't want to jinx it. Maybe three more wins than last year. So you're talking about 9 wins. But we'll talk more about that once we get to the. We'll talk more about that when we get towards the spring game. But which coach Harris the best, and then in his endeavors, thank you for the 1 year that you was here. Really, really appreciate it. Um, let's jump over to the NFL. Just as I was recording, I just saw this that the Carolina Panthers just traded for the number one overall pick. Now they're saying that they're going to be in the in the process of looking into other picks and trading back down. I mean, like what are we doing here? The Panthers. This is like really weird that they got the first round pick. I mean, the first overall pick. Now they're going to trade back down because they want to control what's going on. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, the Falcons still have the number 8 pick, and I feel like at this point we're going defense. I don't see us because you got the Panthers, you got the Texans, you got the Colts, you probably got the Seattle and the Raiders all looking for quarterbacks. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out because you got 4 quarterbacks available with 4 teams, maybe 5 teams who want a quarterback. It's going to be really, really interesting. All the quarterbacks off the board, that leaves with Atlanta Falcons with a lot of guys on defense to pick. And I think the Falcons are going to go defense. And the person that you see on the screen is the person I think they're going to pick. I think they take Nolan Smith at number 8. The only difference that they will not take Nolan Smith is because of 2 reasons. If Will Anderson or Jalen Carter is still there, I think they take one of them over Nolan Smith. But I feel with the Panthers, I don't know. Hopefully they still at number 1. They will take C.J. Stroud. I see the Texans taking Bryce Young at number 2. The Cardinals are probably taking Will Anderson. Colts is going to take Will Levis. Seattle or Detroit. One of those 2 teams that may take one of the defensive players. I'm not sure if Seattle will take a quarterback this high after signing Geno Smith. Detroit may take a quarterback, but then again, you got Jared Goff, who actually played pretty good. Detroit may just try to stock up on more on defense. Probably get somebody on the other side of old boy from Michigan that Detroit ended up picking up. So they may do that. So you're talking about Carter and Will Anderson probably off the board already. So that will probably leave you with a Nolan Smith at number 8, because number 7, I think with Levis is probably going at 7. So you're looking at the Texans, you're talking about Seattle, and maybe Detroit probably taking 3 defensive players. Maybe Nolan Smith still be there, maybe not. If anything outside of that, if it's not defense, they'll probably go offensive tackle from Ohio State. I can't remember his name, but that would not be a bad pick either. But I think the Falcons go defense, and I think they go with Nolan Smith. I think Nolan Smith will fit exactly what the Falcons want to do on the opposite side of Ebikete. and I think that they will go in and get they'll also go in and get oh goodness. They'll have help for Grady Jarrett. I think I said that right. Yeah, so you'll have three guys on the line that actually can get at the quarterback. So I don't know. Maybe Jalen Carter's still there. Maybe I think Will Anderson is going to be gone, and I don't know what Seattle's going to do. But I don't see Seattle and Detroit. Those two kind of scare me because you still have what's going on with um Jalen Carter, and you have Will Anderson. Like, do Nolan Smith, drop to the Detroit Lions? Or what if Seattle takes him? And then you still got Jalen Carter there at number 6. Do Detroit take him? It's really interesting to see how that goes, but I'm not really sure. But that's my gut feeling. I feel like we take Nolan Smith, and that's how it goes. Right now I am looking at a before I get out of here, I'm looking at a mock draft that just popped up about the score. Um, Maybe I'll put this in the description. I'm not sure because these mock drafts change like the wind. This mock draft may be null and void and obsolete by the time the next day comes up. But what they have here is this is what the score has. I'm gonna read it right here to you. They have C.J. Stroud going to Ohio State. Coming from Ohio State to the Panthers. The Houston Texans taking Bryce Young. Vegas Raiders move up with the Cardinals from it says number 9, but I don't get it, but I thought they were number 7. But they take Anthony Richardson, Will Levis at number 4 to the Indianapolis Colts. Will Anderson goes to Seattle. 6 at the Lions getting Jalen Carter. So yeah, Will Anderson going to Seattle. Jalen Carter going to the Lions. Number 7 is Tyree Wilson. And they have the Falcons. Richard, really interesting. Have them going with Christian Gonzalez. Now, I will say this. That's not a bad pick. I think one of the people that follow me on YouTube that always comment, I think it's Wallace. Mike, I think Wallace. I think he always says stuff like this and gives you something to think about. And he always said that the cornerback would not be a bad pick, and I agree with him. That's not a bad one either, But I think they go pass rush more than anything. But the cornerback is not a bad one. My personal pick is Nolan Smith, but Christian Gonzalez is not a bad pick as well. So the score has another another alternative to who they're gonna pick, and it's kind of like right on the same lines that one of my I'm trying to pull it up before I get out of here. Let's see where we are. Here, Wallace Smith. Yeah, he the one that said it as well. He said that that you can get one of the top seat cornerbacks, and Christian Gonzalez is actually not a bad pick to go on the opposite side of AJ Terrell. That will be pretty cool. Bring Jesse Bates in as well on free agent, but I don't want to go into free agency. But that's a whole nother topic that we'll get down to. We get down later on in the week or next week or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so I like Nolan Smith. Wallace Smith, one of the guys that are on my YouTube comments. He always there gives out some pretty good commentary in the comment section. He said one of the cornerbacks. I've heard that somewhere else as well. And with this mock draft, it looks like Nolan Smith may be falling. I think we take Nolan Smith. I think we try to get another cornerback. We believe in Casey Hayward, and we go after more help on that defensive line. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to go out and do some things. It's really like the first weekend that I'm actually here in Atlanta where I can actually go out and do things, because the first weekend we was so much moving and shaking trying to get things settled in the house. I can actually get out and do some things. So probably treat the family out to something. They deserve it. It's always good to have that support. And my family is awesome. I cannot thank them enough. And I can't thank you guys enough for watching and listening and giving out the support, sharing this podcast. letting people know what's going over here, hitting that like button. Give me a high star rating on any of the podcast avenues. Give me a 5-star rating on the Apple Podcast Avenue. I really appreciate it. I cannot thank you guys enough. I'm going to get out of here. You guys take it easy, and you guys be blessed. See you guys again on Monday. All right, y'all. Peace.